Right now at 10, Minnesota's governor now focused on the White House.
Thank you, Madam Vice President, for the trust you put in me.
A look at Tim Walz and how Democrats and Republicans are responding tonight. Plus, a DMV you zip right through. At least that's the hope. Tonight, the changes at the Princeton office and why more Illinois DMVs could see the upgrades.
The cool temperatures have certainly made the headlines today. We'll keep those temperatures below norm for a while, as well as a nice dry stretch of weather. Tell you when the next chance of wet weather will take place with the help of your accurate forecast.
Weeks of recovery, and tonight, a major milestone.
It gives me so much strength to carry on and keep doing what I need to do to heal.
The small steps to get here and the big hope for the future. And later, Rock Falls' first national night out seemed to be a hit.
We're having essentially a block party.
Tonight, what it meant to the community and the plans for next year. News 8 at 10 starts right now.
President of the United States, Tim Walz.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris just announced her running mate today. Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz taking the stage together at a rally in Philadelphia this afternoon. It's the first time the two appeared together officially on the Democratic ticket this November and comes just 16 days after Harris became a candidate. The 60-year-old governor was born in West Point, Nebraska, a small town where about 3,500 people live today. Walz served 24 years in the Army National Guard. He was also a high school social studies teacher and football coach. Walz was first elected to Congress in 2006 and served 6 terms in the U.S. House. He then ran for governor in 2018 and is now in his second term. At that rally today, Walz and Harris addressed a crowd of more than 10,000 supporters talking about abortion rights, education, and public safety. Walz also criticized former President Trump, specifically over his handling of the COVID pandemic. The governor says if elected, he'll lean on his roots when serving Americans.
Minnesota's strength comes from our values, our commitment to working together, to seeing past our differences, to always being willing to lend a helping hand. Those are the same values I learned on the family farm and tried to instill in my students. I took it to Congress and to the state capitol, and now Vice President Harris and I are running to take those very values to the White House.
Harris and Walz now embark on a cross-country trip with rallies in 4 swing states in just the next few days. They're stopping in Wisconsin and Michigan on Wednesday, then Phoenix on Friday, and finally making the trip to Las Vegas on Saturday. And Democrats from across our area are sharing their support for the Democratic ticket. That includes Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who calls Walz an excellent choice for the job. Representative Eric Sorensen says the Minnesotan understands the issues in smaller communities, and former President Barack Obama chimed in today as well. And the Trump campaign tonight releasing a statement on Harris's running mate. It reads in part, quote, from proposing his own carbon-free agenda to suggesting stricter emission standards for gas-powered cars and embracing policies to allow convicted felons to vote. Walz is obsessed with spreading California's dangerously liberal agenda far and wide. And Congresswoman Mariannette Miller Meeks is reacting to this decision tonight. She says Walz will have to defend his support for, quote, sanctuary cities, open borders, and runaway inflation. She also claims Walz doesn't support law enforcement. And we are exactly 3 months from Election Day, and we want to help you get ready. You can find our election coverage anytime on WQAD.com, the News 8 app, and our YouTube page. And a trip to the DMV in Illinois could soon be a little speedier. These days, the office in Princeton has reopened with updates to serve customers more quickly. They call it a one-stop shop where you can do things like renew your driver's license and license plates all at one counter. Employees are also trained to help you with everything else. This is the start of an effort by the Secretary of State to improve services in government departments and prevent people from waiting in line.
Was we saw these inefficiencies. We saw people literally bringing books and novels to the DMV. And we said, we're going to do everything we can to eliminate the wait, make it a better experience for our customer, make the process easier.
Now, the DMVs in Shelbyville and Beardstown have also remodeled and implemented the changes to their facilities. Meanwhile, a new Illinois law is making it easier for people leaving prisons and jails to get ID cards. The Secretary of State's office can now waive birth certificate requirements if a person previously had a valid driver's license or ID. It also allows officials to verify someone's Social Security number without seeing a physical card. All federal, state, and county facilities in Illinois can participate. The state will share information at prisons to increase awareness. And tomorrow morning, you may hear cannon fire coming from the Rock Island Arsenal, but you don't have to worry. It's part of a ceremony welcoming a new First Army leader. That ceremony starts at 10. And the Western Illinois University Board of Trustees voted today to lay off some of its employees. The board says its expenses have exceeded revenue too many years in a row and says it has exhausted its options. Now, we don't know how many layoffs the board approved or which employees or campuses this impacts. It comes after the university did not renew 35 faculty contracts for the coming school year.
This is the difficult year. This is the year that Western Illinois University is taking difficult but necessary action. This is the day that we make the conscious decision to not pass the buck.
Now, yesterday, faculty, staff, and students rallied against the layoffs at the Macomb campus. Union leaders with University Professionals of Illinois say the layoffs will hurt the surrounding communities. University of Iowa officials say a retired faculty member died in a crash over the weekend. The university confirmed today Usha Malik was a professor emeritus at U of I and worked in the physics department. It happened just after 5:30 Sunday night after a driver didn't stop at a stop sign at an intersection with Highway 1 near Solon. Police are still investigating this crash. A Rapid City firefighter injured in the line of duty is on the road to recovery after a tree fell on her last month. Tonight, Jenna Webster shares a major milestone and what's giving her strength to keep moving forward.
Sometimes one foot in front of the other.
Beautiful. Good.
Can be huge milestones.
Scoot yourself over to the middle.
No matter the pace.
Control it down.
A bullseye with a bean bag.
Good.
Offering glimpses.
Toes up.
Of good things to come.
It's tougher than any workout I thought I was kind of a tough gym person, tough workout person. Oh no.
Mary Beth Eggers focuses on those steps forward.
Then knee extends, over, and drop.
All steps forward just 3 weeks ago that weren't possible.
I heard the cracks. We all heard the cracks. We knew what it was. I just didn't have the wherewithal to look up and figure out which way to run.
3 weeks ago, the Rapid City firefighter was responding to a fire when she was pinned under a tree. The branch puncturing a lung, breaking 6 ribs, and basically shattering the area from her hip to her pelvic girdle.
Feel like you have your non-weight bearing?
Yep.
Leaving her rebuilding the pieces of what used to be easy.
My brothers and sisters in the fire department too. They gave me so much power and strength to keep going.
Strength physical therapist Julie Evans could see from that first session.
Even from day one, she only missed 1 or 2 things, and she was frustrated at herself for forgetting 1 or 2 of her precautions, and she's like, I won't forget that again.
That strength now bringing one of the biggest steps forward, home.
Julie said maybe we should give out some sort of, have a bell to ring or something, but I have my figurative bell, and it's up here. And it'll be ringing tomorrow, and I'll be so happy to be home to that small community that's big. It's a small community that's huge, that's rallying around me, and I'm going to make them proud.
Glimpses of good things to come. A step forward she's not taking alone.
Beautiful.
In Davenport, Jenna Webster, WQAD News 8.
Incredible. Mary Beth is being discharged from Genesis tomorrow. Now, she still has a long road to full recovery ahead, but is looking forward to being home with her family. All right, let's get to weather now. But James, before we talk about that, we got to talk about that story. Great story from Jenna Webster there. Yeah. It's so interesting. She talks about how she thought she was tough, when she was in the gym. And she says, no, I wasn't tough. Yeah, she is tough. You can just see it in every one of those movements that she's trying to make in this recovery.
Absolutely. I mean, the determination that she has to get to where she is right now, I mean, that's an incredible feat as it is right there.
Yeah, so inspiring. We, of course, wish her the best.
Yes, indeed.
But we do have to talk about the weather, and that's improving as well.
Yes, I mean, everyone's talking about the temperatures today. They want to know what those temperatures are going to look like
tomorrow
in the days to follow, especially when it comes to tomorrow. Here are the current readings across the board. And, John, these numbers really haven't changed too much since this late afternoon, early evening. Of course, a lot of it has to do with some of the broken cloudiness that we've been dealing with across a lot of our hometowns. So upper 60s, lower 70s, that hasn't changed really all too much. At the airport in Moline, still holding around 71 degrees after seeing temperatures as high as 78, and that was mainly in the morning hours before that front came through and really dropped those temperatures in the 60s. So we recovered some from that. A light north wind at 8 miles an hour, dew point temperature around 62. Here's a breakdown heading into the rest of the night, into early tomorrow morning. And as you can see, skies will be slowly improving. So as we lose that blanket of clouds, you can see those temperatures will begin to drop just before daybreak with those lows around the upper 50s. Nice recovery in temperatures, and a lot of that has to do with a fast return of that sunshine. And that sunshine will lead to some much better temperatures, not only for tomorrow, but also in the days to follow. We'll break that down for you, John, in just a few minutes.
Yeah, I can't wait for it, James. Thank you. Coming up, it was a chance to meet your local first responders, and it was a first for Rock Falls. We'll show you the turnout at the town's National Night Out and how the event could shape up for the future. You're watching News 8 at 10.